Bridget Elks sat frozen on the couch, eyes red from crying. Another one? This made 6 babysitters who had come and gone in just a few months. What on earth was happening in her home when she wasn't around? With her baby in one arm and her phone in the other, she scrolled through messages and voicemails until she landed on one that would change everything. She knew she needed help, but what she never expected was that the root of the problem had been right in front of her all along. The truth? It left her shaken to the core. Bridget was a mom doing her best in a world that didn't slow down for anyone. Her marriage had ended suddenly, and with 3 kids to raise and bills to pay, she had to dive into a full-time job just to keep them afloat. It was exhausting, but she powered through. Her children meant everything to her, and she wanted to give them a life that felt stable, even if everything around her felt like it was falling apart. After what felt like dozens of interviews, she finally found the perfect nanny, Lisa. Calm, collected, and amazing with both baby Kirk and 6-year-old Marie, Lisa seemed like a godsend. Bridget finally started to breathe again, trusting someone to help carry the weight. Within weeks, Lisa felt like family. Mornings became smoother, workdays less stressful. For once, things were going according to plan. But it didn't last. 3 weeks in, Bridget came home to find a note and a void. Lisa had resigned. No warning, no goodbye. She was just gone. Shocked and confused, Bridget tried to get in touch. After some prodding, Lisa revealed something that made Bridget's stomach drop. Marie. Lisa claimed it was her daughter's behavior that forced her to quit. Bridget was defensive. Her Marie? That was absurd. Surely Lisa was overreacting. Still, the problem didn't stop with Lisa. Over the next 6 months, 6 different nannies accepted the job, and every one of them walked away, citing Marie as the reason. Bridget was devastated and confused. She knew kids could be challenging, but wasn't that part of the job? She didn't want to believe her child could be the root of the issue, but after so many incidents, she needed answers. That's when she installed nanny cams. Bridget wasn't trying to catch anyone doing anything wrong, she simply needed clarity. Meg, the 7th nanny, was hired with high hopes. She seemed enthusiastic and patient. Bridget prayed this time would be different. For the first 2 weeks, everything seemed fine. Then came the familiar resignation. But now, Bridget had the footage. What she saw made her heart sink. At first, Marie seemed sweet and helpful, but as the days progressed, something shifted. One clip showed Meg politely asking Marie to bring over the baby's diaper bag because her hands were full. Marie glared at her and screamed, "You can't tell me what to do. I'm the boss of you." In another, Meg gently reminded Marie to wash her hands before lunch. Marie folded her arms and stomped her foot, refusing. "You're not my mom. I don't have to listen to you," she shouted. The final straw came just before Meg's resignation. She had asked Marie to quiet down so baby Kirk could nap. Marie's response was chilling. "I'll get you fired. I am your boss." Bridget felt sick. She confronted Marie and showed her the videos. Calmly, she asked, "Do you think this was okay?" Marie's response was immediate and cold. "We pay her. That makes me her boss." Where had she even learned to think like this? There were no more swimming lessons, no more play dates. Bridget explained to her daughter that the reason she wasn't doing these fun things was because her own actions had driven away the very people who made them possible. On a parenting group online, Bridget shared her experience, seeking support and advice. Reactions were mixed, but all agreed something had to change. "She may have ruined her reputation," one mom wrote. "Word spreads fast in babysitter circles. If she treats one like this, others will hear." Another added, "This isn't just about 3 incidents. If every nanny walked out, it was probably happening all the time." Others chimed in with experiences of their own. One babysitter explained, "In families with money, kids sometimes think they're in charge. I've had to sit parents down and say, if you want me to keep working here, you need to handle it, or I will." Luckily, they supported me. Then came insight from Vicky Broadbent, a parenting expert and founder of Honest Mom. She offered a perspective Bridget hadn't considered. Children don't always misbehave out of malice, Vicky said. Sometimes they're reacting to emotions they don't know how to express. Frustration, confusion, even abandonment. It's possible Marie wasn't lashing out to be cruel, but to be heard. According to Vicky, Marie may have felt left out and powerless. The sudden appearance of nannies, especially without explanation, could feel like a replacement for her mother's attention. Kids need to understand why changes are happening, Vicky stressed. If a child feels dismissed or ignored, it can come out in behavior that seems extreme. Bridget had never sat down to explain to Marie why she needed a nanny. She assumed her daughter would just understand, but she was 6. All Marie likely knew was that her mom was suddenly gone more, and strangers were stepping in. I hated having a nanny as a child, Vicky admitted. Even though I knew my parents had to work, it didn't make it easier. I just wanted to be with them. So, was Marie's behavior okay? Absolutely not. But Vicky emphasized that disciplining a child should go hand in hand with listening to them. Model empathy. Explain what's happening. Make them feel safe and loved, even when life is chaotic. And one more thing stood out to Vicky. Someone, maybe even unknowingly, must have told Marie that she was in charge. At 6, she doesn't fully understand money or employment dynamics. But if someone joked, "You're the boss," she may have taken it literally. It was a lot for Bridget to take in. She had done what she thought was best, juggling jobs and parenting, trying to hold her family together. But now, she understood she needed to do more than just manage schedules and hire help. She had to connect. Children learn by watching and listening. They also learn by making mistakes. But when a child is screaming, "I'm the boss," it may be their way of saying, "I miss you." Bridget didn't have all the answers, but she was ready to listen. And this time, really hear. Bridget began to change the way she interacted with Marie. Instead of rushing through their mornings or giving brief explanations between meetings, she carved out intentional time just for the two of them. They cooked simple meals together, took quiet walks after school, and talked, really talked, about how they both felt. Marie, once defensive and bossy, started opening up in small ways. One night, while brushing her teeth, she mumbled, "I just wanted you to stay home." It wasn't much, but for Bridget, it was everything. It was a breakthrough. Therapy also became part of their healing process. Bridget found a child counselor who helped Marie process her feelings in a safe environment. Through play and conversation, Marie began to understand the difference between control and communication, and that expressing emotions didn't mean hurting others. For Bridget, it was a wake-up call that even the strongest love isn't always enough on its own. Children need to feel that love in action, through patience, presence, and understanding. And sometimes the bravest thing a parent can do is admit when they need help, not just with babysitting, but with learning how to connect all over again.